対戦で培ったテクニックが使えると思います。
Right, and that really gives you a technique where you can use your main weapon and sub weapon in combination to defeat the enemy.
パリューさん受けました。イーフもちゃんと回復してる。もっとシェルターが来ました。
Oh, Brella's here.
これはこっちはもうはいマニバですね。これはこっちはもうはいマニバですね。
So you're facing off against another dually user. There was the roller. There was the ink brush. There was the roller.
また次のはいスロッシャーとかのさあまた次のはいスロッシャーとかのはいまたこのさっきもスロッシャーのタコで作ってました。
You're gonna start seeing ones with the sloshers
おっとブラ
now.
スター。
Here comes the blaster.
反対側から狙ってきています。あまり片方に行くとはい反対側から狙ってきています。
Yeah, if you focus on one side before you know it, you're gonna get surprised from behind. So.
ジェットパック。倒しました。
Oh, you got it.
いやそうですね。倒しきれなかった。
Didn't finish her off. Get out of there! Get out of there! Stingray, look out!
Get out of there!
Get out of there!
マルチにする。いけるかいけるか。
You can see him shooting the orb to regenerate somehow.
落ちているスペシャルな
10 seconds left.
Maybe he had a chance to pick up another special weapon on the ground, but you know,
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to leave that test unpassed and let you guys
残念ながらこのテストはパスしなかったんですけれども、次の
そうですね。
駅に行ってみましょうか。
ステージを先ほどライフがあったんですけど、すべてのライフを使い切ると1回失敗ということになって、2回連続で失敗するとテンタクルに助けてもらってそのステージをスキップできるようになっています。なのであまり難しくてちょっとここは自分の腕はもう少し練習しないと無理だなと思う場合は、まあ一旦スキップしてストーリーを先に進めることもできます。
So, and fear not, on really difficult stages like that, you saw you had a certain number of lives that were given to you at the beginning, and if you burn through all of those lives and have to continue, and then do that a second time, the off-the-hook girls who are offering you support during the Octo Expansion are going to give you the option to kind of hack your way through and clear the stage so that you can keep proceeding on. So if you feel, this stage is a little too much for me right now, I want to learn more about the story, you can skip that stage for the time being and move on.
はい。ここはじゃあ次行ってみますね。ここはフットルーズステーション。
Okay, Footloose Station, here we go. Kick off your Sunday shoes.
このステージではこのキャンピングシェルター、このステージではこのキャンピングシェルター、ブラスター、ノバブラスター、パウロを使うことができますけど、ここはちょっとキャンピングシェルターでいきますね。
Okay, I'm going to use the tent umbrella on this. You can see we also had the Luna blaster and there was a brush weapon as well.
なんかこんなところに生木社長今回張り付いてますけど、
For some reason, Sea Cucumber is hanging out on the wall this time.
ヒントをくれるのは同じです。
But he'll still give us the same kind of hints for the stage.
はい、このステージはですね、行ってみます。敵を全部倒さなければいけないんですけど、敵を全部倒さなければいけないんですけども、
So we've got to defeat
足場
all the
が
enemies.
なんと全て箱でできています。なので、
Almost all the platforms here are made of crates.
相手の攻撃はもちろんなんですけども、自分の攻撃でも箱が壊れていきますので、あまり手数を使わずになるべく効率よく敵を倒していく必要があります。
So, of course, the enemy's bullets, but also your own bullets will destroy these crates, so you really want to take them out as quickly as you can.
回復もちょっとしにくいので、回復もちょっとしにくいので、
スナイパーが向こうにいます。
Octo snipers.
スナイパーが向こうにいます。
スナイパーがいますね。
And I love this because you can try to shoot the enemy or you can try to shoot the crates out from under their feet.
戦略としては敵を直接撃つこともできますけれども、敵が乗っているクレートを壊すことで倒すこともできますね。
ちょっとねシェルターを持ってるんで、パージすればいいかなと思いつつ、パージすると実は足場がどんどん壊れていくので、なるべくパージは使わずに。
And so I'm using an umbrella weapon, and you might be tempted to send the umbrella portion of the weapon flying out, but if
ト
you
ル
do
ネー
that,
ド
it's
タコ
going
プ
to
ター、はい、トル
destroy.
ネードミサイルを撃ってくるタコプターですねが出てきました。
If you send out the umbrella portion of your weapon, it's going to destroy.
足場が壊されてしまいました。
You got it this time. You got it this time.
次はできます。絶対できます。大丈夫。
Those twin tackle octo
また最
bombers
初から挑戦
making
で
it
す。
difficult for you. Try this one more time. Try this one more time.
ちょっと距離を取らないと危ないですね。ちょっと距離を取らないと危ないですね。
You've got to get some distance from them, or it's going to be too dangerous.
一回回復します。
I'm just going to hang out here, restore my health.
攻撃の隙を縫って近づいて
Try and dodge enemy attacks as I get closer.
ちょっと多少強引に行く必要ですね。
Gotta be a little bit aggressive too. So
あまりね粘っているとこう足場がどんどん壊れていきますので
you stick in one place too much, your crates around you are going to get destroyed. You gotta keep moving.
焦らずでも急いで倒す必要があります。
So you've got to, you know, you can't panic, but you've got to keep moving. It's kind of finding that balance.
こいつの攻撃はちょっと強力なのでこいつの攻撃はちょっと強力なのでうまく移動しながら
Got a really powerful attack, so I'm going to get close to him and try and get rid of him. Okay. Oh.
ナイス。よし最後のこの強敵。
ナイス。
よし最後のこの強敵。
These two final enemies should be the last one.
一匹は倒しました。
Oh, he found a safe spot. 2回失敗したんでコリさん行きますか。
I'll try.
コリが頑張ってみます。
なんかコリさんに頼ってばっかりですね。
Wow, Corey's, really saving our bacon this time.
Corey gets to watch and learn from the mistakes, which is a part of, I think, of learning these levels. Is you kind of, it takes a few times doing it wrong to figure out what you need to do right.
コリンは野上さんのプレーを見てこうすれば次はできるかもしれないって学んでやってるので上手くなってるのかもしれないですね。
Careful.
そうですね。今みたいに足場を壊して倒すこともできます。
So you can also get rid of enemies just like you did now by getting rid of the crates.
最後の敵は飛んでいるのでその手は使えません。
But you can't use that against these enemies because they're floating.
One more. Watch out. Uh-oh.
Nice.
Well done. Well done.
I feel like you can get a little bit too confident in yourself when you're playing that level. Just because you forget that the boxes are underneath you sometimes.
足場がすごく壊れやすいということを忘れやすいので、これできるよってちょっと自信過剰になってしまってダメになる可能性もあるかもしれないですね。
足元も気をつけなければ。今ちょっとメッセージで出たんですけど、今ちょっとメッセージで出たんですけど、チャットログというのが実は機能としてあります。
Yeah, it looks like we've got, if we see our icons at the top of the screen, we've got a message. So I'm going to go show you the chat log feature of our CQ80 device here.
これステージをクリアしていくと現れるんですけども、こういうのように中に入ると飯田と姫がこうチャットで会話をしてますので、こういったところでその彼女たちのちょっと裏話が聞けたりするかもしれません。
So as you clear stages and open up other areas of the map, these chat logs, which are conversations between Marina and Pearl, other characters, are going to appear, giving you a little bit of a look behind the curtain of the story of Octo Expansion.
クリアしていくとどんどんね増えていきますので、これも楽しみにして
And they keep adding, getting added to the chat log screen the further you progress in the game.
Yeah, that looks great. Well, Corey, we're going to take a minute to load up the next level. And just to build upon that, Squid Research Team, what I've seen is those of us seeing these stages, we're seeing a lot of, if you start looking around the stages, you see some sort of artifacts, maybe from an older era. We've got a chat room that looks kind of old school. We're seeing some characters in the first segment that are rapping. So I feel like there's all of these sort of remnants of a lost era that I think people are going to be excited about to find out in the story mode.
コーリーが今ちょっとセーブデータを変えてるんですけども、その間にちょっとコメントとしていろいろこの背景とか景色を見ているといろいろさっきのチャットルームであるとかいろんなものっていうのがなんかちょっと昔の世代のっぽいものがあるんで、これなんか少し興味深いそういうなんかストーリー的なものもプレイヤーはどんどん学んでいけるような感じですね。
そうですね。この世界ちょっと地下にこの取り残された世界ということでちょっと時間が止まったような雰囲気になってます。だからなんか古いオブジェクトが見えたりとか、あるいはちょっとなんか使ってる言葉遣いもちょっとなんか古い感じの言葉遣いだったりとか、そういうのが楽しいです。
The world of Splatoon 2 Octo Expansion is you're going to kind of learn is this trapped world underground where time seems to have kind of stopped. And so whether that's from the different slang that the characters use or the objects you see floating in the background of stages, you're going to get a feel for whatever that era might be.
それでは次はハウスパーティーステーション、またちょっと違う武器を使ってチャレンジするステージ、ここはチャージャーを使いますね。
Hey, no kidding or playing here.
リッター 4K を使うんですけども、スコープとスコープなしとスコープありが選べるんですけど、じゃあ僕はスコープなしでいってみます。
Okay, so we do have a choice of a couple different weapons here, and these are two different chargers we can choose from. One with a scope, one without. I'm going to go without the scope this time around.
はい。とにかく10匹の敵のタコを倒すミッションですね。
Okay, so Sea Cucumber is telling us we have to defeat 10 different enemies in this stage. So we'll see what we can do.
四方から敵が襲ってくるんですけども、四方から敵が襲ってくるんですけども、こううまく見つからないように。
Okay, so the enemies are going to attack us from 4 different directions. We want to hide out, find out where they're coming
第
from.
一次の敵を倒すとまた次の敵が現れます。
So
おっと
as
今
you
度少し
defeat
囲まれている状態ですが、
more are going to appear.
おっと
Kind of got us surrounded
横から撃
now.
たれてしまいましたね。
That time we just got
あっ
shot
ちに
from
も
the
敵がいま
side.
す。
I'm going to try and sneak over there.
うまく隙間を使ってどこにいるかな。うまく隙間を使って今度どこにいるかな。
So it's kind of like peeking around the side there to hit that
あ
enemy.
そこにももう一匹いますね。
I think there's one over here.
あれどこや。
Oh, not there.
おっとあっちから
Oh,
おっとあっちから
okay, it was that direction.
Fortunately, there's no time limit here,
う
so you
ま
can
く建物というか障害物の影も使いながら。
I'm using these crates to kind of hide behind.
でこのステージにはタイムリミットがないので時間をかけてゆっくり倒すことができますね。
Really take
ど
your
の順
time.
番で倒すかも大事です。うまく。あと一匹どこにいるかな。あと一匹どこにいるかな。あそこに車線が見えるのでいますね。
Oh, I see his line of sight.
こう左側の障害物に隠れるとこうちょっと顔を出して撃つことができますんで、
So if I can line up behind
あ
this,
と一
this
人、あ
obstacle
と一
here.
匹、あと一匹なん
Oh,
です
just
が、
I spoke too soon. There's one
おっと
actually
なんか
left.
最後は壁が壊れましたね。最後はなんか有利の叩くが現れました。あいつを倒さないといけません。
Gotta defeat this
う
guy.
まく隙を狙って、おっと
Just want to stay hidden. Use my chance when I have it.
よっしゃ。
Nice job.
Let's load up the next stage. Let's load up the next stage.
Yep, why don't you take a second to load up the next one. I thought you did a really good job sort of picking your spots there. And again, that felt like a different set of skills than any of the previous ones we've seen.
そうですね。はい。
ポジションをよくね考えて
そうですねはい
打っていかれたんですごくいいステージだったと思います。さっきモガも言いましたけれども、スキルを違うスキルを試されるステージだったと思いますね。
そうですね。まあチャージキープとかの技を使うことももちろんできます。
Oh yeah, and I should mention you can in that particular stage, and I should mention you can in that particular stage you can use your the ability to store a charge with a sniper or a charger weapon and use that to pop up after you've stored your charge, pop out of the ink and shoot him.
今まではちょっと短めのステージが多かったんですけど、少しちょっと長めのステージもあったりします。
So most of the stages we've been in so far have been on of the shorter variety, but let's take a look at a stage that's a little bit longer.
ここは割とスタンダードにそのゴールを目指すステージですね。
Okay, and this stage is got an objective that you might be a little more familiar with, which is just getting to the end.
はい。武器はブラスターを選択しました。
Okay, and I chose a blaster as my weapon.
敵がたくさん現れるんですけど、うまくこう敵がたくさん現れるんですけど、うまくこう武器の特性を生かして距離を取りながらダメージを受けないようにしていきましょう。
We had a lot of enemies appear there, but if you can use kind of the weapon you're using, if you can use its particular characteristics to your advantage, you can keep them at bay and take them all out.
敵を残滅させると次のステージ道が現れます。敵を残滅させると次のステージ道が現れます。
Okay, and so once you take out all the enemies, you'll get your next jump point. The launch pad, I should say.
おっとここはそうですね。
I love the music in this. I love the music in this so much.
このオクトエクスパンションの音楽がすごくいいですよね。
そうですね。ちょっとこれも少しレトロな感じがするかもしれませんけど。
You might hear a bit of a retro style of the music in the Octo Expansion as well. So keep an ear out for that.
単決戦を使うこともできます。おっとこの大きな敵が出てきました。
Okay, oh, the big guys are here now.
っしゃ、1匹は倒した。
Okay, able to dodge that.
ブラスターの特性を使ってバックで倒すこともできますし、ブラスターの特性を使ってバックで倒すこともできますし、直撃を当てて倒すこともできます。
So I can use the blaster's ability to hit enemies with splash damage, or I can shoot them directly with the shots. So
ただこいつが結構横の動きが速いので、
these twin tackle enemies will dodge to the side really quickly. So got to be ready for that.
I like that you chose to defeat all the enemies there, but you could have just. And I like that you chose to defeat all the enemies there, but you could have just made a mad dash for the launch pad before you killed them all if you wanted to.
ここはUFO からどんどんと敵が出てくるので、
Lots of enemies on the way.
うまくそうですね、距離を取りながら、うまく距離を取らないと今みたいにダメージを受けてしまいますので。
さっきの場所ではたくさん敵が出てきまして、すべて倒されましたけれども、倒さずにもう次のランチパッドにもうダッシュしてもいいんですよね。
そうですね、行くこともできます。ある程度の一定数敵を倒すと次のへの道が現れますんで。
Right, that's a good point. Like for a lot of these launch pads, you don't have to get rid of absolutely everything on the map before you can get going.
おっと、リンクが切れました。
Great recovery.
リンクが切れました。
I ran out of ink, so I'm going to hide back here.
おっと、盾がいますが、おっと、盾がいますが、ってらっしゃった。
I was one of the shielded Octo Troopers.
敵を食べるとちょっと大変なので、
But luckily you had a
敵を食べる
checkpoint.
とちょっと大変なので、
もう通過したんで、よかったですね。
あ、そうですね。
Let's try this again. Pretty tough.
おっと、敵が出てきました。おっと、敵が出てきました。
Enemies just keep coming.
今みたいにバックで倒すこともできます。まあ、今みたいにバックで倒すこともできますんでね。なんか
Take them out one at a time if I need to, but then you can just kind of take them out one at a time if I need to, but then we're gonna get groups of them like
敵
this.
がいっぱい出てきたんで、ちょっとあれはボムで処理しま
If
し
I
た。
can use my bomb to get rid of those guys.
おっと、インクがやばい。おっと、インクがやばい。
I need more.
やばいやばい。あれもう出てますね。あれもう出てますね。もう逃げてさっさとクリアしました。
So we've got the launch pad, so I can just use that to get out of here. Woo. Okay, I just realized that.
Hey,
All right, let's load up one more level.
もちろん気が済むまで倒してもいいです。
No, yeah, you can also just hang out there if you have the confidence to defeat. No, yeah, you can also just hang out there if you have the confidence to defeat all the enemies and take them all out.
そうですね。
じゃあもう一つだけ。
So we're going to load up one more level, and the one we're going to show next is actually going to be a boss level.
で、最後の一つはボス戦になるよ
そううですね。
ですね。
時々ちょっとボスが登場します
Bosses。will occasionally show up to challenge you. Bosses will occasionally show up to challenge you in the Octo Expansion. Be ready for that.
はい。ここはじゃあジェットスイッパーで挑戦しますね。
I'm going to use the Jet Squelcher here.
はい。アップグレードしているらしいですね。アップグレードしているらしいですね。さあ、何がアップグレードしてるんで
Sea
しょうか。
Cucumber is telling us this boss has been upgraded. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but
いきます。
okay, here I go.
いきます。
Okay, here I go.
何かちょっとどこかで見たことあるかもしれませんけども。
Maybe have seen this guy somewhere before.
そうですね。ボスなんですけども。
Oh, it's this
はい、
guy.
ヒーローモードで出てきたボスなんですけども。
So this is a boss from the Splatoon 2 single player mode.
ちょっとこう上に敵が乗っていたり少しパワーアップしています。
But now he's been powered up with things like enemies that hang
あ
out
の
on
敵は
top.
邪魔なので倒しながら。
So those enemies can kind of make it difficult for me to do what I want to do. So I got to get rid of
で
them
うまく
first.
こう
But
隙を縫って上に乗って
climb up here. Get rid of this
倒しましょ
tentacle.
う。ダメージ与えられ
Okay.
ました。ちょっと無理やりでしたがダメージ与えられました。
I was able to get up there, but I did take some damage. I was able to get up there, but I did take some damage in the process.
ヒーローモードと同じように3回やっつけないと倒せないんですけども、 第2段階目は、はい、大きくパワーアップします。
So, just like in single player of Splatoon 2, you have to get through 3 versions of this guy, but in the second version, he really powers up this time around.
スプリンクラーですよ。スプリンクラーでどんどん足場塗られてしまいますんで、スプリンクラーを倒し、
covering everything in ink. You've got to destroy them.
It looks like he upgraded his flavor of bread also.
はい、そうですね。このパンが普通の食パンからマーブルに変わってて、この辺もちょっとパワーアップしていきます。
Yeah, he's got a little bit of chocolate marbling in the bread now, and that also has been powered up. It's pretty tasty.
このステージはちょっとあんまりやってしまうとネタバレになってしまいますので、代わりにしておこうかなと思います。
If we show any more of this boss, I'm worried that we're going to have some spoilers, so I'd better call it good here.
はい。
That sounds good.
はい、ありがとうございました。
Thank you very much.
That was a lot of squid research. That was a lot of squid research. I'm sweating and I wasn't even playing.
Oh, was it stages?
はい。
たくさんの研究はできましたね。
そうですね。はい。オクトエクスパンションステージはこのようにいろんなステージがあります。さっき見たようなヒーローモードにはちょっと長めのステージもありますし、もっと一瞬で終わるようなステージもあって結構バラエティーに富んでいます。
So I really feel like the Splatoon 2 Octo Expansion is filled with variety. You've got all different types of objectives in the stages. Some of them are very short, and then others will take a longer time to complete, like you would have in your traditional Splatoon 2 single player mode.
でセグメント1でも出ていた4つのあれを見つけ出すと、物語がクライマックスを迎えていきます。
And so finding the 4 fangs, as we call them, and they showed up in segment 1, will move the story along to some climactic scene, and so I hope you're looking forward to that.
クリアするとタコボーイ、タコガールが対戦モードで3モードで使えるようになるんですけども、先ほども言ったように自分で道を選んで進めますので、全てのステージをクリアする必要があります。
So being able to clear all of the content in the Octo Expansion will allow you to play multiplayer, salmon run as an optimum character. But you don't need to worry about being able to clear all the stages on your own abilities. You can use that skip functionality that we talked about earlier.
ただできるだけたくさんステージをクリアして練りメモリーをたくさん集めるとちょっといいものがもらえるかもしれませんので、ぜひ挑戦してみてください。
But if you clear the stages under your own steam, you'll get all those mem cakes we mentioned earlier, and there might be something worthwhile in doing that.
で、オクトの配信はお伝えした通り今日の夕方ですね。
And as I mentioned previously, the Octo Expansion will be releasing later this evening.
なのでお楽しみにしてください。
Please look forward to it.
あと本編の方のアップデートもしました。12月まで継続するというふうにお伝えしましたので、ぜひですね、本編の方もぜひ楽しんでください。
And we will be continuing our updates to the main game as well. And so, please look forward to those rolling updates as we move throughout the year.
Thank you so much.
And that's all for me.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Squid Research Team, for stopping by. And Corey, thank you. Thank you. Hope you guys enjoyed that look at Splatoon 2 Octo Expansion. And again, remember, that releases later tonight on the Nintendo eShop. So hope that you guys got that, are looking forward to that. And stay tuned. We're going to be right back with Damon X Machina. So don't go away. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us for Nintendo Treehouse Live at E3 2018. And we're going to be taking a look at a brand new mech action game called Daemon X Machina. I'm Sam. Chico's here. She's going to be playing. On the end is Rich from Treehouse translating. But we've got a very, very special guest, Mr. Kenichiro Tsukuda, producer of this title from Marvelous. So thank you so much for coming and showing us your game.
Looking forward to it.
Okay, so we're going here, Daemon X Machina. This game was announced during the Tuesday's Nintendo Direct announcement video. It looks really cool. Here we are in the base right now, and then you'll be able to actually customize your avatar. So let's go in there. The character art design for this game actually is done by Tadashi Yusuke, who also did the character design for Fire Emblem Awakening and Fire Emblem Fates. So as a big Fire Emblem fan and a Nintendo fan myself, I'm really excited about this news. And also here, I can make either my own, like a female avatar or male avatar. But since Mr. Tsukuda is here for us, I think I'm gonna try to I'm gonna try to create him. And as I do it, maybe he can talk more about the game.
少しゲームについてお願いします。
はい。ここはこう自分の好きなキャラクターを作って、遊んでいくための準備になってます。
So this is a place where you can ready your own character to have whatever kind of character you want for yourself.
男性だけでなくて女性も作れますので、こうユーザーの皆さんと楽しんでいただければと思います。
You can not only make a male avatar, but also a female avatar. So we hope everyone can enjoy playing this game.
眉毛がすごい。
Those are some pretty good eyebrows.
高さを変えます。で、髪型も変えたんですね。そうですね。Yeah, sorry.
We'll change the haircut and the eyebrows as well.
Yeah, we need to change the hairstyle too.
まだこう制作中なので、こうもっともっとこういろいろ増えていくので、こういろんなこう自分に似たキャラクターを作ることをどんどんできるので。
We're still in the process of making the game right now, so the options right here are not reflected what you'll see in the final game. There'll be more options there, so you can really make a character that looks just like the one you want to do.
What do you think?
This is looking pretty good.
No, this not this one. Okay, so let's go with this one.
じゃあハンガーの方戻ってみましょう。
はい、戻りましょう。
Let's go back to the hangar.
Now we're back to the base.
ここがこう皆さんプレイヤーの皆さんの拠点になります。
So this is the base for all the players in the game.
じゃああそこに映ってるアーセナルの機体を見てみましょう。
So let's check out that mech over there, which we call arsenals.
これが皆さんが着て戦う機体になります。
This is the suit that you will wear and fight in this game.
Yeah, the mech design is actually done by Mr. Kawamori, who also worked on the Armored Core series mech concept design, and then also the Macross series. So he's very famous for his design.
そうですね。僕の仕事を一緒に長くやらせてもらってますので。
Yeah, I've worked with him for quite a while.
で今ここちょっとゆっくり映ってる横の場所があると思うんですけど。
So you see this space that we're showing here to the side.
ここはもう皆さんが集めた武器とかがこう飾られていく場所になります。
This is a place that you can decorate with the weapons that you collect.
なので集めれば集めただけこう楽しい場所になります。
So the more you collect, the more you'll have on display, and the more fun this environment will be.
They're huge.
I know.
でかいですね。
はい。じゃあこっちを見てみましょう。後ろにこうスペースがあると思うんですけど。
There's some spaces to the back.
So there's my arsenal is right here, but there's also 3 more pad right here.
Right, we've got some empty platforms here. Do you want to tell us what those might be for?
空いてる場所がありますね。それは何のためですか？
ここはスイッチなので、皆さん期待されている通りみんなで遊べるようになるというメッセージになります。
So this is the Switch after all. So I think that as you can expect, you'll be able to play with some of your friends in this game as well.
でここにこう世界観なんですけど、ここに今光ってる場所があると思うんですけど、これがコンソールにもなるんですが、中のこう光ってる場所が 自分と一緒に自分に指示をくれるAI になります。
So this you see here is part of the world design overall. It's where you can go as a console.
So I think that's going to be the most exciting part.
Well, let's go with the signature. Let's get it cracking. Game 1 of the grand finals. The GG boys from Japan in the orange taking on the back squids from Europe in the purple. And let's look at this loadout here, 9. Any surprises?
Well, we do see that NZAP 85, a weapon that's kind of fallen out of favor recently, but like we mentioned earlier, very popular there for the Ink Armor, although already Yamamichi going down, this is a great opening for the back squids.
Kaito getting the splat right there, 430 in this one, early advantage right now for the back squids, 83 to 100, and that score continues to drop for the back squids of Europe. They've got a 4-3 advantage on the map, and actually they wasted no time at planting that splat.
No time at all, and Watson is doing exactly what I said they needed to do, which is neutralizing Yamamichi before he can even get close to anyone else on the team.
Echo with the Stingray, another Stingray being deployed by Dynamo on
Stingray
on Stingray.
Which is neutralizing Yamamichi before he can even get close to anyone else on the team.
Penalty on the back squids, 9.
Yeah, and it was great that Dynamon was able to not go down in that situation. A trade is not what they wanted because they did not have as much pressure in the middle. But allowed them to continue to put pressure down with that Stingray, although it does look like it switched all the way back.
Back squids reclaiming control of the zone. 51-87 as they cut to that penalty. Kaito with another splat on Yamamichi. 4-3 on the field, 4-2, and you start to see the forces for the back squids here actually push forward and try to keep the GG boys at bay.
Yeah, I really like seeing what Echo's doing here with the splat lane. He is literally keeping everyone out of this lane that Dynamon is trying to put some ink down on so that they can get around and try to flank.
Back squids looking to make a statement in game 1 against the GG boys, but here come the boys. They're back in town and they've got control of the zone at this point. And 9, you look at Yamamichi on that Inkjet, pairing it with the Ink Storm. Beautiful use of both specials.
Absolutely, and you know, Yamamichi at the beginning of this match kind of got caught out by himself, maybe a little bit too aggressive. I like that he didn't go in too deep with that. He's applying pressure here, but he's not too far from the rest of his team.
Yamamichi dodging and rolling, trying to super jump back. Here comes an Inkjet and a baller being deployed for the back squids. Zone is at neutral at this point. Reclaimed by the GG boys. They're now just 18 seconds away from tying this game up. We've got a 3-1 advantage on the field for the GG boys as another back squid goes down, and it looks like Yamamichi has found his rhythm, and now it's the GG boys putting pressure on the back squids, Ashley, as Japan takes the lead.
Yeah, I mean, this is what they do best. They are so good at making sure that if there is any tiny bit of taking a step too close to their base, they can take advantage of that and really convert.
And that'll do it. The GG boys turning the tide of momentum against the back squids, locking things down and getting the victory in splat zones in 9. We really seem to see the GG boys settle down and really play some excellent play, and they stayed alive and put the pressure on the back squids.
And at the beginning, they were getting separated. They were starting to get a little bit staggered. We saw almost immediately Yamamichi went down, but once they got locked out that second time, they grouped back up. They used Dynamon's Stingray to push back in. Even if you don't splat somebody with it, sometimes the damage is enough so that someone else can come in and get that assist. And at that point, it was all about the lockout.
But also the back squids coming out aggressively, Ashley. They were able to secure the zone, hold it for the majority of the match early on, but then you saw the GG boys take control of it. And splat zones is a hard mode to come from behind on, but we saw the GG boys able to accomplish that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is at the very beginning, I think you were right. I think Yamamichi maybe got out there by himself and was maybe a little bit exposed and was able to get splatted a couple of times by the back squids. But then once they all kind of found their rhythm, got together, communicated with each other, again, like I think we started seeing a very team-oriented rush at certain points where Dynamon was giving them lots of cover with that Stingray, and I think that led them to victory.
GG boys take the first game in this championship final, best of 7. Up next, we have tower control. So let's take a look at the basic layout of that for those of us that haven't had a chance to play this glorious game mode. Ride the tower into the enemy's base. Yes, it's a tower in tower control. Surprise, surprise. The tower moves automatically on a set path once a player is on it. And if the battle ends without the tower reaching the goal, the team with the lowest goal distance wins. But we talked about this yesterday, 9. Those checkpoints are going to be different in every single stage, and being able to manage and get past those checkpoints oftentimes makes the difference.
And if you do have a Stingray, you're going to use it. If you're not tired of Stingray, you will be by the end of this mode. Stingray so powerful for clearing off that tower, especially if it gets stuck at that checkpoint. You know exactly where everybody's going to be. Just clean it up, let your frontliners go in. It's a nice back and forth.
And what we saw yesterday with the GG boys, Ashley, we saw Dynamon using that heavy splatling on the tower, and instead of using the charger, you look at the ability of the heavy splatling. What advantages does it have?
I think for Dynamon, I mean, he's a roller guy, right? So I think we see a lot of the heavy splatling as opposed to a charger, just because, one, you can put down so much ink on the ground and give lanes to your teammates, where with a charger, you're maybe putting down a little bit less ink, you have to be a little more precise, and also you leave yourself open to people coming around and flanking you from behind.
Nine, let's chat about some sub-weapons here. What do you think plays well in tower control?
Well, if you've got a bomb, now's the time to use it. Pretty much all of them great, but if you have some toxic mist, you know, it's not a bad idea. The people who are on the tower, they're gonna be trying to fire back at you. You throw that toxic mist on there, suddenly they don't have those resources, makes it a little easier to stop that push.
We'll be doing tower control on Wahoo World. The players changing their abilities, changing their weapons at this point, but you look at Wahoo World, a level that just dropped recently like it's hot, and your thoughts on what we're gonna see from the stage here, Ashley?
I am really looking forward to how these teams handle tower control, because this map is so new. It's the newest map, and they've had the least amount of time to work on it and to really figure out what their strategy is. So we might see some improvisation here as we kind of get closer to the end checkpoints.
Let's get set for game number 2 in this grand final of the Splatoon 2 World Championship. A wonderful crowd here at the Belasco Theater on hand to see who will be crowned the champions of the world. You're gonna have the GG boys of Japan in the blue, the back squids of Europe in the green. Let's take an initial look at the loadouts and please guide us through this, Professor Nine.
Well, this was the money comp for them last time. We saw that incredible Game 5 tower control match. It was Echo on the Charger and Majin on this Rapid Blaster Pro. Echo, like you said, Ashley, a big responsibility, needs to get some picks early on to help start this push.
Dynamon not wasting any time, getting control of that Stingray. A splat for splat, but already a 3-1 advantage on the field for the GG boys, but the tower gets stuck right there. Taiji trying to make some ground, ink some turf right now. Going to use that inkjet, trying to put some pressure on the spawn of the back squids, but now it's 4-4 on the field. Tower reclaimed by the GG boys as Dynamon trying to lock things down like a padlock, Ashley.
Yeah, I think that was really smart by Taiji to get forward, try to keep people away from getting toward the tower so that they could put some numbers up on the map.
And Nine, we see Kaito at work at this point. What have we seen from the back squids in their strategy early on?
Well, actually, things were looking kind of bad for them. Yamamichi was taking the attention of 2 people, but Kaito was actually able to almost single-handedly push in and get the splats necessary to stop that. We do see the Stingray here. This push might be a little bit delayed, but their defense has been strong so far.
You saw Kaito with the inkjet and a couple of GG boys swimming out of harm's way, and now Watson once again with that slosher. We know a few teams yesterday were seeing buckets in their nightmares thanks to Watson and what he was able to do. And now the back squids have control of the tower. They start to improve their scores. Watson continues to provide some support. Yamamichi, though, gets the splat on Watson, trying to put some pressure on the tower. And that's how you play some defense right there, Nine.
How many times are we going to say this guy's name? Yamamichi found a way behind all of that pressure, took out the defender of the tower, and it gave his team the chance to come back in and clean it up. What a play.
And so now using the Ink Storm, Inkjet by Yamamichi being deployed as well, too. So you've got a couple of specials in use right now for the GG boys, and a couple more in the tank. Keep an eye out for the Stingray. Oh, Yamamichi putting on a clinic for right now until Watson's able to stop things. Ken Watson, that baller against the Inkjet, taking on 2 GG boys. Oh, look at the splat as Taiji goes down, but enough of an effort there by the back squids, Ashley, to try and slow the progress of GG boys.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, gosh, Watson is just such a menace. I've never been more terrified of somebody carrying a bucket in my whole life, and honestly, it's working for him because Echo is on the tower and they are riding it in.
68-75, tightly contested match here. No team has cleared the first checkpoint. Oh, Echo! Unbelievable one shot right there, Nine, as the Stingray able to pay back some retribution for the GG boys.
Dynamon is one of the biggest buzz kills I've ever seen. They had all the momentum going there, but he did not go down. They do lose the lead, but they're in a much better spot to defend this, though the super jumps are back. This is getting dangerous.
The back squids putting some pressure on the GG boys, but the GG boys climb back up on top of the tower. 4-2 on the map, 2 minutes left. 14-point advantage for the back squids of Europe. Can they swim their way into a victory in game 2? Taiji with a couple of forces right now. 4-3 on the field. They're looking for a big numbers advantage. Inkjet ready to go. Oh, but gets splatted just in time as the back squids continue to provide some defense. We're at a minute 45 here, 9. You've got Dynamon on the tower. What do the GG boys need here to get this push to the checkpoint?
Well, they need this to be a big Stingray, and Dynamon once again winning the battle of the Stingrays here. He's not going to be able to get on the tower at the time, so they are going to lose it, but he's going to be able to get some super jumps here. You see both Taiji and Etana jumping in. They're going to need to play very clean right now.
Dynamon picking off members of the back squids like he's picking berries right now. 1-0 advantage for our best of 7. The GG boys trying to tie things up here in tower control. You see the baller being deployed by Watson. Can we see that famed defense of the back squids? But no critical splat by the GG boys. 1 minute left. Ink Storm being deployed, and you have an Ink Jet ready. But Ashley, back squids getting on the tower. Here's where they have to make this defensive stance.
They have to make a defensive stance, but Taiji is making it very, very hard for them right now. He's splatted 2 people. He's on his way back to the tower, dropping bombs immediately, protect himself. You got people from other GG boys jumping into the tower. It is getting crazy out there.
68-54, GG boys on the tower. At 9, you look at the clock, and right now it's not on the side of the GG boys. This has to be most likely their final push of the match.
It's going to be. He's got to be able to find this Stingray right here. Dynamo not going to get the better of it here. Taiji was there with the assist, but that allowed Watson to sneak back in. Can Yamamichi stay alive long enough here? Watson finally goes down, but because of the geography of this level, it's going to be difficult as the flank comes in.
4-3, GG boys and Yamamichi's got the Ink Jet ready. They've got to get past the first checkpoint. 10 seconds left. Can they force overtime? 2 more GG boys remain. Oh, but Kaito picks him out of the sky and pops the Ink Jet like a balloon. But we're in overtime. GG boys lose the tower, and the back squids come from behind. About 2 minutes left in that match. They turn the tide. And 9, how about the defense? That's what got them into these grand finals yesterday. They show that tower control defense. You see the passion, the communication, the back squids getting it done.
And you can't say enough about Kaito's performance in that game. I know we saw some highlight stuff there at the end, but so often you saw him engaged in those one-on-one duels with Taiji and Yamamichi, 2 of the best frontliners doing it right now. More often than not, he came out on top in those situations, and we will not be bringing out the broom today.
And Ashley, we saw a lot of Stingray versus Stingray, and it seemed like a critical point at the end where you had both of those, and the back squids were able to get that splat on Dynamon. That really seemed to secure the victory for them.
It really did. I mean, I would say that was the clutch moment where if Dynamon had survived through that entire Stingray and had taken out Echo, instead of it being a trade, I think this could have been a very different end.
Just an exhilarating match. Let's go ahead and look back at some of the replays here. And 9, walk us through what we're seeing here, because we saw the momentum swing side to side throughout this match, but here's Watson.
Watson, and when you use a weapon like this on the slosher, you see that you've got some raised area here. It's going to allow you to kind of take advantage of it. But as we see there, Yamamichi using that stealth jump to come in, put pressure on the tower, and you see they kind of just close in on it. Everyone is aware of where that objective is. And, you know, because of the layout of this level, if you get stuck down there and it moves up, you have to jump back up to the top to get on it. And I'm glad that you mentioned that final splat being so important. They didn't have time to get up there before the respawns happened.
So now it's 1-1. We're guaranteed at least a game 5. So that's a treat for everybody here. Both these teams, as you see how evenly matched they are, Ashley, and the passion and also the organization we're seeing from both of these teams, these pushes. What can you say about the back squids and what we've seen the last couple of days from them?
I mean, gosh, I am so impressed with the level of play that they have brought to this tournament. The shot calling has been very good. The communication has been so good. And honestly, seeing them watch each other's backs, it's so different than when you play Splatoon 2 and you're just by yourself and you're playing Turf War. You know, to be able to play on a team of 4 people who are all communicating with each other, I mean, the level of absolute, like, just pro play is so wonderful to see.
Well, let's get set for our 3rd game. It will be Clam Blitz, and here's the explanation behind that. You toss clams into the enemy basket. First team to score 100 points wins. Find clams scattered around the stage. Round up 10 clams to receive a power clam, which resembles a football, which it's not a court 9, but it's on a what? field is the magic word we're looking for. You'll still get the sporty sports, my buddy. I tried to set you up.
I'm not going to entertain you. I am not going to do it today, sir.
A power clam is needed to break the basket's barrier. 1 clam equals 3 points. A power clam equals 20 points on the field of play out there. And this is one of those game modes, 9, where it can be a little chaotic. You talk about clam management and the currency that's on the field at this point.
We call it the clam economy because it's so important to have your clams. We saw yesterday in the Set to Destroy X versus Back Squid's game, Set to Destroy X had moments where they were pushing up, but they just didn't have the clams to follow it up. Because of that, teams will sometimes wait until they have enough of those power clams to really make a dent, because there is a penalty associated if you aren't able to score enough points.
And you don't want to give a pity clam to the opposing team, especially when they're already in the lead.
They're getting set with their gear and their weapons. It will be Clam Blitz on Manta Maria and Ashley. You look at Manta Maria in the middle of this stage is really where things happen, being able to control that area. But what else do we recognize about this level?
I mean, I think this is a really long, thin level, right? And so and it's also a little bit of a smaller stage. And so with Clam Blitz, I think there's a lot of verticality of that crow's nest. I think we're going to see a lot of, we're going to see some long range action here. I'm hoping Dynamon's on that Splatling again, and I think Echo is almost definitely going to be on a charger.
Players in the lobby, they're getting set still, and we talk about having the power clam here, 9, and obviously it gives up your position, but these teams are so good at communicating. Let us know a little bit more about how these teams break down these stages and communicate where people are and some of the terms they use.
Well, the easiest terms that you'll see are left and right. Sometimes simple is best. The real key is making sure they're quick call-outs because you have to know where the opponent is at now.
同踢波一樣，檸檬茶都要打好個底。Fuse Tea 3重茶底檸檬茶，你識揀啊
？Now. Let's get set for Clam Blitz on Manta Maria. You've got the GG boys of Japan in the purple taking on the Back Squids of Europe in the green. And let's break down these loadouts here and some of these main abilities. We saw a lot of stealth jump there, 9.
Anytime you have a long map like this, you know you're going to see a lot of super jumps coming back in. It's just an inevitability. If you're going to do that, very common to see some stealth jumps to just make it a little bit easier.
Kaito getting the splat on Yamamichi early in this one. 4-3 advantage for the Back Squids. Neither team with a power clam. At this point, you're looking to get 10 clams to get that power clam. You, of course, can share clams with your teammates if you pass them off. And when you get splatted, Ashley, you're giving up clams as well.
Yeah, you're giving up the clams to potentially to other team, but if you can keep them away from it at least until they disappear, you're probably in a much better place.
Watson with that slosher trying to cover some ink. And 9, we talk about this. You focus on the objective of the game, but you want to make sure you cover the turf and give your team plenty of space to move around.
Right, the fundamentals of the game never go away. You make sure that you control that turf, you give yourself the lanes, and it's an added benefit here in Clam Blitz. You can see the clams that are under your turf, so it's one more reason why you need to control the map.
Dynamon with a power clam. You see the GG boys trying to be the first ones to get on the board, waiting to find an opening. Looks like he has a chance here if he can toss the power clam. And he has a completion with the barrier, and now it's the early advantage for the GG boys. However, the Back Squids are able to stop everything and do a complete wipe of the GG boys here, Ashley.
That's one of the things that is so dangerous about doing those really big pushes with 3 team members or more, is that you're really risking an entire team wipe, and that's exactly what just happened.
And 9, you see Majin dropping the power clam, another teammate picking it up, and when you talk about having 3 power clams on the board, that changes the priority for the GG boys.
Zach, where do you put your defenses here? There's too much pressure coming in. They're going to set up this jump. The baller has gone in on Watson. Here they come.
Here they come.
1, 2, 3.
Execution is flawless from the Back Squids. You saw the baller roll in there, explode, and 3 super jumps by the goal. You can't write it any better than that, 9.
That is exactly what you want to see. Textbook play, but you're seeing now Dynamon going to try to do the exact same thing. You see 21 clams there at the top of the screen, so they have the resources they need. They're going to need their own slosher deco to build up a baller, though, before they can get too deep.
Dynamon with the power clam, trying to chase down a few members of the Back Squids. Back Squids shifting to more of a defensive focus right now. They see the threat coming. Oh, Dynamon with 2 direct shots. That rapid blaster at close range can still get the job done. Dynamon trying to avoid the splat, but gets hit by the Back Squids, and now it's 2:15 left. 3-2 advantage on the field. And once again, Ashley, that defense from the Back Squids showing its head.
All you have to do at this point, if you're the Back Squids, is play really great defense. And unfortunately, Itona has a ball ready to go. So if GG Boys can get a couple of power clams going, I think this could be real dangerous for the Back Squids.
Under 2 minutes left, Etona getting the power clam. However, you've got another one for the Back Squids at this point. And 9, both of these teams have a stiff penalty, so it's going to be a coordinated effort if you're looking to improve your score.
It is, and I love the way that Back Squids have been playing this defense. They know that they can't let the baller get close. This might be an awkward angle for them to hit in. They do score, but I don't know if they were able to get any other jumps. You see Taiji coming in is actually able to go through and gets a crucial double kill.
Huge.
We'll see if this is going to be enough. The next baller comes in.
Taiji, and you saw the other power clam, and now the GG Boys are building up their lead. 29-40, but a 30-point penalty. Look at the timer at the top of your screen as well, too. That still has plenty of life to it. You can keep tossing clams as long as there's some purple there. GG Boys looking for one more clam. Can it get there in time? Oh! The door is closed on Taiji, but they have built themselves a 17-point lead. 1 minute left. If you're the Back Squids here, Ashley, you got to shift from defense to offense at this point.
They're going to have to get very aggressive, but they're also going to have to be really careful because, again, you're going to have to make that run successful. Otherwise, it could end in a team wipe.
Echo with a power clam at this point. 42 seconds left. You see the bubble blower special ready to go. A power clam on the field for the GG Boys. And 9, you've talked about it. It's clam management at this point. Are there enough on the field for the Back Squids to make a comeback?
Well, anytime you see 15 or more, or 20 or more at this case, that means that there's not a lot of clams for you to work with. They're going to need that power clam and a lot more points. Watson's going to be forced to use this baller pretty far out. They're going to have to make this push the old-fashioned way, and it looks like they might.
Oh, the GG Boys able to shut the door on the push of the Back Squids. And here comes Yamamichi. They're going to go ahead and just to get the KO, they send the Back Squids to the canvas on Clam Blitz, and they're now up 2-1 in these grand finals. And that's what we saw. We knew that the Back Squids had to become more offensively minded here, 9. And because of that, the GG Boys were able to play some defense and then close the door on this match.
And that was just dirty. They snuck behind there. You saw at the top of the screen, one of the members of the Back Squids had super jump there. They thought they had it, but that allowed the GG Boys to sneak behind them, score, and there was no one there to play defense.
And Ashley, we saw at the end of this game, the job that the GG Boys did of gathering the other clams to make sure there wasn't enough money in the bank for the Back Squids to make a comeback.
Yeah, I mean, that is part of the game. It's a strategy to play a little bit of keep away with the remaining clams on the field. And so they did an excellent job of getting in the lead and then saying, you know what, all we have to do at this point is just keep the clams away from you so you can't get any more points.
One of the highlights of this matchup, 9, was this 3-player super jump into the baller.
Oh.
You called it as it was happening.
Beautiful.
Show us what we're seeing right here as 3 power clams on the side of the Back Squids.
Well, you can't draw it up any better than this. You see Watson was able to sneak all the way back through. He even jumped down there to the bottom in order to make sure that his team had just a little bit more. Taiji got there, but got there just a little bit too late. And Taiji, once again, this time, sometimes the great players make great plays. You see a full wipe there when Taiji was in a bad situation that allowed his team to jump in and was really the MVP of that game.
And it seemed like that was most likely the most critical point. Sure, you'll see highlights of that triple super jump, but Taiji's ability to lock down the base, get that wipe, really secured the victory for our GG Boys.
Yeah, I mean, Taiji and Yamamichi are just incredible frontliners. They're so good at winning those one-on-ones, and that ends up in conversions, and you are going to be in a really good position if you can win those one-on-ones.
2-1 advantage in our grand finals, courtesy of the GG Boys. We get set for game 4. It's going to be Rainmaker, so here's a rundown for those of you at home so you can follow. You're going to carry a mystical missile launcher, 9. Love that term right there. Called the Rainmaker to a pedestal in the enemy base. The Rainmaker is initially located in the center of the stage and is protected by a barrier. If the battle ends without a KO, the team with the lowest goal distance will win. And take us through some high-level strategy with Rainmaker. Where does the coordination begin with this mode?
Well, you want to make sure that you have an alleyway secured before you make that push. There's, of course, moments where a scramble occurs, you take 2 or 3 down, and you just run it all you can. But these teams are so good at identifying where the Rainmaker is going to go and being preemptive. Don't be surprised if it takes a 2, 3, maybe even 4 down situation before they're willing to pick up that Rainmaker.
And a lot of times, Ashley, with that Rainmaker, you really have to be efficient. You've got to stay on the back line, it seems like, because you do want to plow your way forward, but you have to let your teammates clear the way and clear the threats for you as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of trust involved in Rainmaker, I think. So you have to really trust that your other three teammates are going to be taking good care of you and giving you some time, one, to load up the Rainmaker and actually fire it, because there's a little bit of a delay there. And on top of that, create those lanes for you to get you closer to the goal.
And you look at Camp Triggerfish, which is the stage that we'll be doing Rainmaker on, and what do you notice about this stage as it pertains to Rainmaker and how you navigate this map here, Ashley?
Well, we have that giant gap in the middle of the map, and I think that ends up being a little bit of there's a little bit of a back and forth across the way, as you would as summer camp, of course. And I think it's going to be a really fun thing to watch some of the longer range weapons get across that divide and really start picking off people.
And Nine, as far as loadouts go with particular weapons, you know, we've seen a wide variety already in the first 3 game modes, but Rainmaker, what do teams tend to typically focus on?
Well, Stingray, especially on a map like this, going to be very popular. It's a long, narrow pathway that teams tend to run, but don't be surprised if we see something with a wall, because teams tend to go on that netting on the left side of the map. We might see that brand new fresh Glugadooli that we saw. Got the baller and just as I say it,
oh, the man does not even need a crystal ball to call that out. You see the Glugadoolies. GG boys from Japan, the GG boys from Japan in the yellow, and you've got the back squids in blue for Team Europe. 2-1 as we get set for game 4, and Etna already with the Rainmaker trying to advance and improve on the score, and the GG boys trying to make this a quick one. You see the suction bomb in the way of Etna, just being very patient as his teammates can clear things out. And Nine, this is one of those game modes, if you blink, it could be over.
I was about to say that exact thing here. It's not going to be enough. They are going to be able to slow it down there, but you can see there's still 3 members there. This one's going to go even further, and Yamamichi is all up in them right now.
Yamamichi trying to clear out the threats, but the back squids do a great job of fortifying their base. You've got a 4-1 on the field advantage for the back squids, and they're going to go take that Rainmaker and just clear it on out of here. You clearly don't want that right by your base. They're going to just guard it and let it reset. 4-3 on the map, and here we see Echo with that charger once again. Ashley, oh, and picking people off once again.
Absolutely beautiful. Echo is so good on that charger, and I was surprised he wasn't on it last game, and I am just more than happy to see him on it this one.
3:50 left in this one. 3-3 on the field. Make that 3-2 now, courtesy of the GG boys. They have the advantage and the lead, 30-0 at this point on Camp Triggerfish. And what we've seen already, Nine, is every single stage has a particular route you can go with the Rainmaker, and the GG boys wasting no time building this lead.
They're being kind of greedy here. You see they're putting pressure on both sides at the same time. There is that nice little ink rail that kind of allows you access to both sides, which is not something that was there in the Splatoon 1 iteration of this game. Already they're going for more. You see Etna does get taken out pretty quick. This is a good Stingray. It's going to do just enough to take them out there as a 2-down situation. Again, it's solid defense, but we got to see some offense.
Echo getting the splat on Dynamon and stopping the movement of the Rainmaker at that point. Kaito using that splatter shot, trying to create some more ground for his team to operate. Great defense so far from the back squids, but we haven't seen a shred of offense from them. Inkjet ready to go for Kaito. You've got Watson on the ground with that slosher. 3-3 on the field, 3-2 advantage, and this is maybe where the back squids can make an offensive push, but they have to deal with Dynamon and that Inkjet, Ashley.
Yeah, that is very dangerous. It looks like Watson just got splatted, so it just gave Dynamon a whole lot of real estate to work with Itona right here. Got people jumping in already. Here's Yamamichi. Now, again, you've got 3 of the GG boys right there on top of the Rainmaker.
2:25 left in this one. 2-1 advantage in the games. If the GG boys can get this, they'll have a huge 3-1 advantage getting set for game 5. However, a couple more splats. Yamamichi getting splatted by Etna. Etna with those dual squelchers putting in some work right now. 2:10 left in this one. 4-4, plenty of time here. However, if you're the GG boys, you know that you've got the lead. Do you shift to a defensive mindset here, Nine?
I don't think you change up the game plan whatsoever. As long as you play within yourself and you don't go too crazy here, I think you can play offense. That's not a spot you want to be. I'm a little bit surprised to see him moving towards the Rainmaker here. There might be a chance for a push on this left side.
Majin trying to keep a couple of the GG boys at bay with that rapid blaster. Here comes Echo with the Rainmaker. Baller on baller crime. Those both negate each other, but you see the splat on the left-hand side of your screen. Echo needs a convoy. Looking for some help to help improve that score. You've got those cargo nets. It's going to be very difficult to navigate. Trying to avoid the splat option. Oh, Echo getting behind the defenses, but it's not enough. And you see the score there, 9. It was 30-30, but because the GG boys got there first, Backsquid's back at 31.
Can they get anyone up there? Kaito's got to run up there and grab that. The Inkjet's not going to be able to do so. The splash wall might have saved him. Kaito is able to get one, but they're going to need someone else to come back there and pop it. Kaito can't do it himself. He has to focus on the threat that's ahead. The Stingray up to help them. Can anybody grab it?
Kaito gets a couple splash. Here comes Majin, and the Backsquids take the lead. Here comes the slam dunk, and the Backsquids able to do enough and put some pressure on the GG boys, and they lock this thing up here, Ashley.
Wow.
2 games to 2.
I mean, I really thought that Rainmaker was going to go away. It could have had to have been the last second for that Rainmaker to still be on the map. And Majin just picked it up and jumped over the top of someone and walked it in. It was crazy.
9, how about that concentrated push at the end? It just seemed like it was an endless stream of Backsquids deploying right that area of the map against the GG boys, and the GG boys unable to reset that Rainmaker. Let's take a look at the replay from all of the action that we just watched. And 9, you look at how much these teams were battling back and forth, but here comes Echo at the pivotal moment of this match.
So many things going on right here. You see Majin had already worked around that backside and was able to get Echo this far into it. He jumps up here, throwing caution to the wind, but the splash wall just enough to slow it down. But credit to the Backsquids there. They gave themselves the position to super jump in. You could not have timed that dual special push there any better. Yamamichi trying his best, but with coordination like that, there's nothing a single player can do.
The 4-0 wipe like Charmin at the end right there. Excellent job. And you see the Stingray getting the critical splat, able to stop things right there. And Ashley, we now have ourselves at least a game 6.
I mean, this is what we all want as Splatoon fans. This is the thing you want to see. We wanted to see a real championship match, and that is exactly what we're looking at.
We get set for a game 5 in our best of 7, and both of these squads back and forth, and that's a huge match right there, 9, because if you aren't able to get that victory, you're now down 3-1. You would have to beat the GG boys 3 times in a row to become victorious. You now give yourself some breathing room.
And you look at how that third game went. It was the Backsquids who got off to that big lead there with that incredible 3 power acclaim score at one time, and then it was the GG boys saying, we're just going to take the win right out of those sails. That time the roles were completely reversed. It was the GG boys who came out on top at the start, but credit to the Backsquids, they just kept fighting the whole way.
And Ashley, the GG boys got out to the huge lead, the early advantage. It looked like they were almost about to win the game the first 30 seconds, but you saw the defense from the Backsquids. They never give up. They always believe, and that's so important when you get to these grand finals.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I'm always impressed with all 4 teams that have played in this tournament is the ability to remain calm. I know that whenever I am in a situation similar to that while I play Splatoon, I am a panicker. And I'm like, oh, I got to pick up the Rainmaker because it's just sitting right there in front of me. And these teams show incredible restraint when they know, like, no, I'm not the Rainmaker carrier. I'm going to wait for my teammates. I'm going to have a coordinated push. Like, we're going to do this together. And they've done, all of them have done such a good job at that.
Game 5 will be splat zones in the Reef. And Ashley, it was one of the first stages many people got their hands on when they first played Splatoon 2. Tell us about this stage, especially as it pertains to splat zones.
I mean, I love the Reef, and I think that this is the map that the teams have had the most time with, I would say, out of all of them. And so the Reef is the one that, you know, I feel like it brings us right back to classic Splatoon, the fight on the bridge. It's time for a fight on the bridge.
Splat zones in the Reef. A couple of scoops of vanilla ice cream when it comes to game modes here. Just under 5 minutes, you have the Backsquids in the blue. And then in the green, you've got the GG boys. And tell us about the loadouts we're seeing here, 9.
Well, this is not a map where you're going to bring out